What happens when Hollywood egos clash with corporate giants? Joy Behar's shocking fallout with HBO over a canceled $15 million comedy special has left her career hanging by a thread. From outrageous demands to heated arguments, is this the end of her reign on live television? And what does this reveal about Disney's crumbling empire and The View's spiraling ratings? Stick around as we unpack all the drama. The Walt Disney Company has had no shortage of problems in 2024. From its struggling television shows to underperforming feature films, both live-action and animated Disney's challenges have been mounting. While Inside Out 2 seems to be the lone bright spot, the company faces a storm of troubles heading into 2025. One particular figure is drawing a lot of attention for all the wrong reasons: Joy Behar. Known as a longtime panelist on The View, Behar is facing yet another career-defining disaster. Whether she identifies herself as a talk show host, comedian, or even an actress, 2024 hasn't been kind to her or her reputation. To make matters worse, her struggles mirror those of her co-host Whoopi Goldberg, who has had her share of challenges at other studios for entirely different reasons. What makes Joy's situation intriguing is her ongoing attempts to rebuild her career. Much like Goldberg, Behar seems to be trying to branch out into new directions. Recently, she's been revisiting her early roots, focusing more on stand-up comedy and acting pursuits, though whether she truly excels in these roles, that's up for debate. To be honest, Joy Behar has always been a divisive figure when it comes to comedy, and not everyone finds her work entertaining. But her career has taken an especially dramatic turn recently, particularly due to a significant fallout with a major Hollywood studio. While Disney continues to grapple with box office flops, extreme cost-cutting measures, and internal setbacks across its divisions, Behar's issues have added yet another layer to the chaos. The spotlight has shifted to Joy's failed attempt to revive her stand-up comedy career through a high-profile deal with HBO. She had been in serious talks with the network to produce a comedy special tentatively titled Bring on the Joy. This project was intended to mark her comeback as a comedian, much like Whoopi Goldberg's recent efforts to expand her creative ventures. However, things quickly went downhill. Behar's demands created significant friction with HBO's studio executives. One of her main requests was to extend the special from a typical 1-hour runtime to an ambitious hour and 45 minutes, citing additional material she had only recently developed. This last-minute request became a point of contention, sparking heated arguments between her team and HBO. The discussions reportedly grew so contentious that the studio ultimately decided to pull the plug entirely, cutting ties with Behar and shelving the project altogether. Joy Behar was set to earn a staggering $15 million for her Bring on the Joy special, a high-profile project slated to air on HBO and HBO Max by early 2025. The plan was to start filming in January, but things spiraled out of control due to behind-the-scenes drama. One of the key issues arose when HBO proposed last-minute changes to the special's production, including relocating the filming from a specific venue in New York to one in California. This decision reportedly didn't sit well with Behar, who insisted on maintaining the original New York location. Her reaction was described as controlling and combative, with sources claiming she became increasingly difficult to work with as discussions progressed. Following HBO's decision to cancel the project, Behar was understandably upset. Losing the $15 million deal was just the tip of the iceberg. The special had also been positioned as a potential launching pad for a second comedy special, contingent on the first's success. If the first had performed well with HBO's target audience, Behar was set to secure a follow-up deal valued at $20 to $23 million, and even bigger payday scheduled for 2026. Now, HBO is moving forward without her. The studio has decided to replace her entirely, bringing in a younger comedian to fill her slot and filming at the California venue she rejected. It's clear HBO is distancing itself from the controversy and focusing on fresh talent for this project. If we're being honest, this turn of events may feel like poetic justice to some. Behar's alleged inflexibility and attitude throughout the process ultimately backfired. Interestingly, this situation bears a striking resemblance to Whoopi Goldberg's career struggles and clashes with studios, further highlighting the difficulties some high-profile personalities face when adapting to changing industry dynamics. In recent weeks, Joy Behar's career struggles have mirrored those of Whoopi Goldberg, creating a whirlwind of controversy and setbacks for both the View stars. A particularly notable instance was Behar's attempt to negotiate a deal with DreamWorks for significant roles in two major animated films, Shrek 5 and the highly anticipated Donkey spin-off. She was slated to voice a new villain character in both films, but negotiations hit a wall when Behar pushed for a pay raise, demanding a few $1 million more than initially offered. These demands reportedly led to tense and heated exchanges with DreamWorks executives. Ultimately, DreamWorks decided to follow Disney's lead, referencing how the latter had dropped Behar from Toy Story 5 amid similar conflicts. This decision raised doubts about Behar's reliability, with DreamWorks pulling the plug on her involvement. The fallout highlighted a lack of confidence in Behar as a collaborator and dealt yet another blow to her floundering career. Much like her situation with HBO, the recurring themes of conflict and creative control were at the center of the drama. Behar was adamant about keeping her comedy specials production in New York, clashing with HBO's plans to relocate filming to California. She also pushed for an extended runtime of 1 hour and 45 minutes, a demand seen by many as excessive, especially given her current reputation in the entertainment industry. These demands mirrored the issues HBO has faced with comedians in the past, as the network has a history of parting ways with talent over creative disagreements. Adding to this, both Behar and Goldberg seem to be making frantic attempts to reinvent their careers outside of The View amid rapidly declining ratings for both the show and ABC as a whole. Ratings have taken a sharp dive since September, putting more pressure on the co-hosts to seek opportunities elsewhere. Behar, now out of the HBO deal, is reportedly scrambling to pitch new comedy specials to other studios. This entire ordeal paints a clear picture. Behar's career is at a crossroads, plagued by disagreements, lost opportunities, and dwindling public support. Whether she can recover from this series of missteps remains to be seen, but the path forward looks increasingly challenging. Joy Behar is facing an uphill battle in her attempts to reignite her career, and it's not going as planned. Many studios are beginning to recognize that The View's ratings are either stagnant or declining at an alarming rate. This growing realization has made them hesitant to invest in talent associated with the show. Behar's reliance on her existing platform to draw attention to her other endeavors is proving to be less effective as The View becomes increasingly irrelevant in the competitive landscape of television. Behar's presence on television has always been divisive, appealing to only a small, specific audience. Some argue that the viewers who tune into The View often do so by accident, stumbling upon the show while flipping channels rather than actively seeking it out. This has led many critics to question whether she truly resonates with audiences or if her presence on TV is more a product of inertia than talent. Additionally, Joy Behar's reputation as a demanding and difficult personality precedes her. Much like her co-hosts Whoopi Goldberg and Sunny Hostin, Behar has been labeled as overly controlling in her professional relationships. This pattern isn't unique to The View but extends to other programs under the Disney umbrella, such as Good Morning America and Jimmy Kimmel Live. For some, this behavior reflects a broader culture among Disney hires, one that often clashes with creative partners. It's not exactly a surprising revelation for those familiar with the behind-the-scenes dynamics of these shows. Now, Behar is trying to pivot back to her roots in stand-up comedy. While it's clear she wants to recapture the spark of her earlier career, this attempt feels more like a desperate bid to stay relevant as her television presence falters. The public's growing discontent with the content and tone of The View, along with the BC overall struggles, has created an environment where it's increasingly difficult for Behar to gain traction outside of her existing niche. Can Joy Behar and Whoopi Goldberg successfully rebuild their careers amid such widespread criticism and setbacks? As more people become disillusioned with the antics on The View, their attempts to expand into other avenues may only highlight the growing disconnect between them and modern audiences.